So basically what we drew is we drew a path that leads in two directions. One of them was good, one of them is bad, and they both represent the different ways that you can go with friendship.
And so each path, we have roadblocks. Like for example, a roadblock to the bad path would be Jesus Boy because she helps Franny avoid the bad path. While the good side, Trevor would be a block because he stops Franny from going to the good side and gets her angry.
And what we did was we wrote different scenes that we thought the characters like kind of chose one path. And so on the good path, we wrote scenes that like the characters chose good paths, and also we thought that the good path and the bad path were kind of both represented by one person. It's like if you choose the bad path, you're kind of following Trevor, but if you choose the good path, you're more following Jesus Boy.
So what we did for all the scenes that represents the different choices that we noticed, we picked 3 good scenes that we put along the good path, and 3 bad scenes that we put along the bad path to show that they're each part.
So some of the scenes for the bad path was Ray gets hit in the head by Trevor, but then we counted that in a way in the good path where Ray stands up to Trevor, and that kind of shows that in a way Franny could have gone ahead to the bad path thinking Ray has been hit in the head by Trevor. She could have gone up and smacked Trevor again himself, or she could have just left him. What she did was left it, and that helped actually Ray learn that he needs to stick up for himself. So eventually he stood up against Trevor, and that helped. Jesus Boy leaves Trevor in the snow is another good path because Jesus Boy in a fight scene between Trevor could have started hitting Trevor over and over and over again, but instead he just left Trevor there alone, showing how he's actually the bigger man and he doesn't resort to violence.
And another one of the good scenes, like one of the scenes that was on the good path, we thought was one of the most important parts that led to Franny, which is the like girl who's trying to decide between the 2 paths, was when she befriends Jesus Boy, and it's kind of like showing how she now has a leader that is going to lead her down the good path, and it will help Franny break down the roadblock, or like Trevor, because he was in the way of her going to the good path. And so when she becomes friends with Jesus Boy, it's helping her break down Trevor, or the roadblock.
So then basically towards the end of the book, it's basically clear that Franny ends up taking the good path because that she's able to get past Trevor and stand up to him instead of just falling down to him over and over again.
So this is what we came up with, and in the end of the book, all the things in the good path outweigh the things that Trevor's done, and it kind of shows how Jesus was this mentor in a way of Franny, and a great friend who helped her, Jesus Boy who helped her overcome her fears and anger and actually showed her what she needs to do.
Okay, going to give you an opportunity. Bring this together in some kind of claim. Tell me why we should care about this. Tell me where else you've seen this idea. And at the moment, you're doing brilliantly. So bring it together. Tell me where else you've seen this story and why we should care with it, and you will score really highly.
I got one.
Go on.
I already got a story.
Keep going. No, but bring it together. How I still haven't heard a claim.
So so our claim was no matter how many things are in the bad path, there are always things in the good path that overweigh it. Which in a way shows that no matter how many bad things happen, in the end there's always going to be that good things that help you out.
And like I think this kind of relates to in real life. a lot of times we have the choice between the bad and the good path.
But most of the time,
But-
and the problem is,
Well, we never know which path. We always have these certain friends that we follow, and depending on what path they choose, we choose. And so I think it's like kind of showing how you need to think about who you're following, and kind of like when Ray stood up to Trevor, we need to be able to stand up for ourselves, and we need to be able to do things for ourselves and not just have to follow one person.
and also, this is a bit. So wait, one of the things I actually thought of was this path actually could represent a big part in life where there's a lot of bad in the world, but a lot of us don't even decide to look at what's good, but all the bad things, when really the good things should overweigh it. Did you know?
Just joking, I was gonna say. So basically, everybody will have this path choice in their lives at some point or one another, and it depends of how you actually react to what's inside of each path, which depends how you're gonna choose. Because they're not both just clear. There's no sign that says good or bad, but because it's kind of fogged out, it can be there, but it's harder to go that direction than just to read it and go that way.
I actually know a book that fits perfectly to this one. It's called Young Samurai. Jack ends up, this boy named Jack is English and in Japan, and he has a lot of things between good and bad path. He has this bully named Kai who keeps on bullying him, outnumbering him, always torturing him, but he also has these friends who help him out, and he has this new family that's trying to encourage him. So in a way that's perfect like this, because with Franny, she has this one bully who's really giving her a hard time like Jack does, but there are also still these things in life that help him get through it.